welcome to another episode of Embracing Wisdom with Stacy. That's me. And today's episode is one of my favorites. I love when I get questions from listeners like you that kind of want maybe a sneak peek into the workings of my mind. So I just have 5 questions today. And these come from emails, texts, or just things that have been sent to me through the different platforms that I'm sharing what I know. So the first question is, how do you find motivation to keep teaching, creating, baking, all the things when you have so much uncertainty with your hip and you have so much pain? So I love that question. And I've touched a lot on those daily routines and the mindfulness part of my life and how I use those tools to keep me going every day and how I redirect my thoughts away from pain and uncertainty and this sucks to something productive. And that becomes my motivation. I never want to be somebody who sits down and says, poor me, whatever the reason is. There was a season in my life, or in my early 20s, that I lived in that space. I felt poor me. I'm overweight. I'm unhappy. I don't have enough money. I have a terrible marriage. I have a child with special needs. My life sucks. I spent so many wasted years in that place that when the switch went on for me to change my thinking, I've never gone back. And I certainly have many reasons to feel disappointed, sad, angry, frustrated, all of it. But that's not going to change the reality. That's not going to do anything for me if I sit and list all of the things that are wrong, in quotes, wrong, because I don't believe anything's wrong. I feel like I'm going through some challenges. I feel like I've had to make a pivot in my career. I had an amazing career of teaching in assisted living, face to face with people with dementia, Alzheimer's, neurological changes of all types, brain injuries. And I love it. It is absolutely, unbelievably the best job, gift, service, whatever you want to call it, that I could have ever dreamed of creating. But I had to make a pivot because I physically cannot do that work anymore. And so pivoting gives me motivation. The idea that I can create my life, I can create my direction, I can create anything that I put my mind to is my motivation. I am not a quitter, I'm not a giver upper, I'm not a failure. I just pivot. And so during the pandemic, I pivoted. During this challenge, I'm pivoting. And in pivoting, I'm finding so much joy, so much direction in my life. And that is motivation to me. If I were to sit and dwell on what I cannot do, all that would do was be producing more of that reality. But if I focus on what I can create, then I'm motivated to create more. So the baking has evolved from being a hobby to being something that I do a couple times a month that not only brings me great pleasure, but it brings me a little bit of revenue. It brings me people coming into my space. It brings joy and happiness. It brings it all. So that's been a pivot. I've also done more mentoring of people who are in the yoga space to how to do what I do. I've done more writing, more podcasting, more videos, just pivoting and fine tuning constantly as an entrepreneur or a self employed business girl, constantly pivoting. And that keeps me motivated, even on very painful days. And when I turn the button on, I can be highly motivated. When I'm not working, when I'm not creating, when I'm not writing, when I'm not recording, when I'm not producing, I'm still and I'm sitting on ice and I'm icing my feet and I'm I'm dealing with my pain, but I get up every single day, like I've said a million times, and I slap on the lipstick and I'm ready to roll no matter how bad I feel. I am motivated to show up every day. That's the first question. Second question, totally different topic. What are my go-to oils for spring? Now, when we think of springtime, at least I think of flowers. And so I'm not a super florally scented girl. I like them, but I like the benefits of flowers more than I like the smell of flower essential oils. When I pair a flower with a citrus, I feel like that is springtime in a bottle. Now, citruses are going to be those oils that help us clean. So if we think internally, detoxing, getting rid of some of the winter sludge, um, citruses are great for that. They're great for spring cleaning. They're great for an emotional lift. Like anything that grows high on a tree, fruit, is going to give us a more elevated emotional experience. If we are feeling super up here and frustrated and in the clouds and in our thoughts, and we choose an oil that grows low to the ground, like a tree or a root or something earthy, then we're going to feel more grounded. Springtime, I feel like we all have a little bit more zest and a little bit more energy. So I tend to use citrus more. Now, if I'm in the sunshine, I don't put citrus on my skin because that is a photosensitive plant and it can cause you to burn, but I diffuse citrus oils all the time. And I wear citrus oils, I just don't put them on my face or a place that's going to see direct sun. And now to complement the citrus, I do love a couple flowers. And the flowers that I'm really, really, really drawn to is ylang ylang, probably because I just love to say the word ylang ylang. It's a delicate, feminine, beautiful floral. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm in the love. I love ylang ylang. I feel like it's powdery, it's feminine, it's sultry. It's so beautiful. So I love ylang ylang with a little bit of citrus. I love patchouli. I love geranium in a super small quantity, like just a drop of geranium. In fact, in my diffuser in my kitchen right now, I have lemon, lime, geranium, and ylang ylang. And when you walk into that room, it's like you're in a floral shop that's outside in a market. I mean, it's just sunshine and clean. So I tend to, for spring, I want that emotional lift. I want the vibrancy that citruses bring, but then I want that soothing, calming, feminine, beautiful, florally vibe. So that was a great question. All right. So there's been some scuttle. This is a really important question. And I get asked a lot. When are you writing a book? When are you writing a book? And I've been writing a book and I have a book done, but it just hasn't been the book that I've wanted to write. It's a great book. It tells my story that you've all heard on this podcast, maybe more times than you need to hear it. But having a child with special needs, what that did for me in my heart to wake me up, to snap me out of this pity state I lived in for 10 years and totally changed my life. We've heard it. It's a great story. It made a great book, but it's not the book that I really want to put out there. And so I will tell you, I'm not going to tell you much, but I will tell you, yes, a book is in the works. Yes, it will be inspirational, motivating, beautiful, personal, all of that. It's in the works. It will be completed by the end of this year. There, I've said it. It's public. You can hold me accountable. Hold my feet to the fire. Yes, there is a book. And what inspired me to write the book is because I all think we have all of us have the potential to make a big pivot in our life and to have one of those awakenings, if you will, where I feel like I was asleep for 25 years and then I woke up. I think we all have that. And our wake ups come in different versions, different stories, different variations. I know what my wake up was. And I feel like telling the story might inspire somebody else to look at what they might see as a lemon and turn it into lemonade. So that's what inspired me. All right. Planning. How do I plan content? How do I plan what I'm going to yap about? How do I plan what I'm going to teach about? Well, I think to be authentic and to do this well, I think you have to speak what's on your heart. You can't pick up an outline from a book on how to build a YouTube channel or how to have a podcast or how to have a blog and follow some recipe. I think you have to speak to your heart and you have to speak what's on your heart. and make it relatable to what's going on. I mean, maybe some people are sick and tired of hearing about my hip. That's okay. Scroll on by. Maybe other people are curious about my hip and how I'm able to still produce stuff and show up and serve and love my life and give and be joyful every day despite it. Maybe, maybe that. And so I feel like if I were to plan my content around something that I could find in a book, like here's how to, it wouldn't be authentic. It wouldn't be me. It would be following somebody else's ideas. And I think what helps me in my planning is I'm systematic about it, I'm consistent, and I have an overall message that I want to convey, which is life is hard. We all go through hard stuff, but we can still show up and we are responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions. We are responsible for our happiness. We are responsible for the life that we create. There's no external dependency on someone else or a bank account or a location. We make the best of what we have in our life. That is our responsibility. So, as long as my planning stays consistent with that, I'm going to talk about whatever's on my heart. And what's been on my heart for 14 months is healing this horrific hip drama and pivoting my business and finding joy every day. And if that means putting seeds in the soil or learning a new recipe for sourdough or creating an essential oil blend or yapping on a podcast, that brings me joy. And so my content planning comes from joy, which comes from my heart. And as long as I speak from my heart and do work that's from my heart, I'm good. That's how I do it. That's there's no magic. If somebody who wanted to just sort of take that leap into becoming a blogger or a YouTube channel person, I would say just talk from your heart. Speak what you're passionate about and the content will come. I do sit down usually on a Saturday or Sunday and kind of get my head wrapped around what do I want to share this week. Oh, that sourdough rustic strawberry pie, that had to be shared. Like it was so darn good. But is that like going to inspire somebody? Maybe, maybe not, but it was good and it was beautiful and it was fun. So that brings me joy. So therefore, I'm going to share it because it's joyful and that's on my heart is joy. So, yes, there's some intentional planning, but mostly it's my heart. And people ask me all the time, you must have a script. I don't have a script. I don't teach from a script. I don't podcast from a script. I don't record videos from a script. I speak from my heart. And when I speak from my heart, it's my true, authentic self. And there's no reason or need to have a script. As long as I listen and I speak from my heart and I speak my truth, that's all there is. There's no need to make something up ahead of time and then read it. Like, that's not from my heart, that's from my head. And I don't live in my head. I don't live in my head. I live in my heart. I'm not an overthinker anymore. I've recovered from being an overthinker. And I'm really proud of that. I used to be a total all in my head. What if, what if, what if? And planning every minute of every second of every day and every scenario that could be possible. I don't do that anymore. I live in my heart. I live in my heart. And I'm telling you, if you are an overthinker, drop into your heart. Just drop into your heart for a day. If you can't do it for a day, do it for half a day. Drop into your heart. Stop thinking. Just stop thinking and be in your heart, and your life will change. I'm telling you, your life will change. It's freedom to be past the overthinking season of my life. It is freedom. And now, my brain just hums. I don't think. I just don't think. I live in my heart. It's beautiful. All right, last question. Want to know something surprising about me? I am truly, truly an introvert. 100% introvert. People think there's no way you're an introvert. You talk for a living. Your face is plastered on social media. You're got a YouTube channel. There's no way you're an introvert. Yes, I'm an introvert. the way that I refuel, the way that I fill up my cup, the way that I feed me is to be alone, to be by myself, to shut out the world, to not talk to anybody, not have demands from anybody, to be completely alone by myself, doing things that I enjoy doing, which is usually quiet things. I don't have to have music on. I don't like to have music on. I like music when I drive in the car, but that's it. I don't have a need to have music on. I don't like chatter. I I don't like crowds. I don't like social nonsense where we just have to like social chat. Like, oh, that it ah, like like a trip to Costco, all the people. Oh my goodness. I have to be in a great space to go to Costco. And even then it's like in, out, don't talk to anybody. But I don't love dinner parties. I don't love social get-togethers. I don't even people that I love and adore. I don't like being with people. I'm much happier being by myself. And because I talk for a living and because I'm with people when I'm working with a lot of people all day long, I definitely need time in the garden, in the bathtub, on a walk, doing something completely by myself, with no distractions. I absolutely have to have that, like I have to have water. So, knowing that about me, yeah, I can turn the switch on. I can teach to hundreds of people. I can talk all day long about something I'm passionate about. But when it comes to just social chitter chatter, not for me. I like people. I'm not going to say I don't like people, but I like my alone time. I love being alone. I love picking weeds and just silence. No music, just silence. That is probably one of my favorite activities in the entire world is sitting on the ground with my handy dandy weed picker, plucker, and just filling up a bucket of weeds. Like that is pure joy for me. Some people love to go out with their friends. I'm happy for you. As long as you know what you love, I say go for it. So I think introverts have in the past gotten a bad rap because people assume introverts are antisocial weirdos. It's not that. An introvert just knows what he or she needs to fill up, to be able to go out into the big, scary social world and function. Like we just know what we need. And a book, a weed picker, some sourdough bread dough, I'm golden. I'm good. Um, but I think we as people need to embrace all types of people and embrace the extroverts. Like I used to be a little judgy about extroverts back in the day when I was in my head more like analyzing why would somebody like that? Why would somebody want to be around people? And very judgy. But I feel like when we're in our head, we are judgy. We are comparing ourselves to other people. We're analyzing why somebody's different than us. That's living in your head. That's not living in your heart. Living in your heart is you don't care. You don't care what other people do because all you do is love. All you do is love. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if other people need other people to feel good. It doesn't matter when you're in your heart. When you're in your head, you criticize, you compete, you compare, you all of that exhausting stuff. But when you live from your heart, it doesn't matter. You're just happy. You're humming along, loving. So that might surprise you is that I am an introvert. All right. Thanks for the questions. There was a couple other ones, but maybe not something I want to answer. But keep them coming. I love kind of stockpiling all the questions and then I don't know, once every 6 or 7 podcasts we'll do a Q&A. So that's what I have for you. And we'll chat again. We'll chat again really soon. I have got more things up my sleeve. So if you want more details about any of those 5 questions, just shoot me a message. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Lower yourself into your heart. Just lower yourself down. Drop into your heart. Be who you are and go love. Create your best life. You'll be happy you did. All right. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.